You know what? Black people always spices stuff up. We spice everything. If you notice that black people, we just spice it up. You know, we took the band and made the Gremlin and the Southerns and the band. We take choirs. The choirs used to be just but these choirs are so Mississippi Mass Choir and all that kind of stuff. We always take it from tennis to golf to whatever we do. We put that spirit into it. And once we learn the fundamentals of something, boy, and we could we'll add, let's say this is the fundamentals, but let me add a little spice here. Let me top it off. No, we just have that. And so, like I said, Steve Harvey took Family Feud to another level that it wouldn't go. So we just have that, when we do some things.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to BARZ, the alternative podcast where we discuss interesting topics with some cool people. I'm your co-host, Big O, and I have with me today.
And I got Tanae in the building with our guest, Cecil Armstrong, a.k.a. Shuckey Duckey, the legend, comedy legend. Give it up for Shuckey Duckey, y'all. Give it up. Quack, quack.
Quack, quack, back, baby. Right. Quack, quack, back.
Okay. So we have to get this first and foremost out the way. Are you really from Dallas, Texas? That's where you grew up and born?
Definitely Dallas, Texas. Yes.
Okay.
Born and raised.
Are you a Dallas fan by any chance?
Dallas who, Cowboy?
Yes.
I live in Dallas.
Oh, hell. Damn, I thought we just had it. We're gonna have this shit gonna go left.
I live in
this gonna go left right now.
If I live in Dallas, I better be a fan. I can't even go to the grocery store. I can't even go to the grocery store.
I'm just thinking you was the last one. I better not
put a Redskin jersey or Green Bay Packers jersey on.
Giants, something.
I shoot New England or a Patriots or a Eagles. Man, I couldn't even go to the grocery store.
Oh man, okay, all right. So we're gonna just journey and say, how do we get to where you are now? And we're gonna do some turns. So now, first and foremost, how was it growing up in the era that you came in? Because I don't want to get your age away, but we could,
I ain't worried about it. I ain't scared of my age.
Oh man, shoot, tell me how it was.
I ain't scared of my age. I ain't trying to hide my age.
Yeah.
It's a blessing for a black man to get this age.
Facts.
Say that.
You know what I'm saying?
Bars.
Yes, sir.
This man get this age. I grew up, we grew up like everybody else, grew up in poverty, you know what I'm saying? We was poverty, but we didn't think it was poverty. But we know we had some rough times, some time when teachers had to pay for your food because you didn't have nothing to eat. So we had those kind of days, and my mom was a single parent, so and she had 6 kids, 5 boys and 1 girl. So she had a rough time.
Poor girl.
And I was the oldest child trying to take care of all them kids.
Damn. So, okay. So, all right. So the oldest of 6, single mother, Dallas, Texas, doing the 50s and 60s. Okay. So right now, I think, you should be some type of hero, so we understand that. So now going through school, in Dallas during that time period, was it a lot of racism or was it a tight-knit community? What was the flavor like?
Well, we knew outside of town. We knew we had that field side of town. I didn't know nothing about Martin Luther King until his assassination.
Wow.
So that's when I became interested in Martin Luther King, because my aunt, she started beating on the door crying, "Oh, what we gonna do? What we gonna do? They killed Martin Luther King, Martin Luther King." And I didn't know who Martin Luther King. I didn't know who he was. And then they let us watch the funeral of Dr. King in the school auditorium. So we watched the whole thing of Dr. King in the school auditorium. So we knew the white people, that had a little bit more than the black people, and we knew what side of town we could be on and we couldn't be on. But in our neighborhood, it was more just black people, and it's a black community. So we was happy within our black community.
Okay. So now, if listening to what you're saying, you guys had like basically black businesses and almost like a emerging black middle class thing.
Oh yeah, we had black businesses, because I used to work for a man named Mr. Jacob who owned a shoe shine parlor. So I worked for him, and then the guy that owned the funeral home was right across the street from him. You know, so we had black businesses in the area. Black businesses thriving. Grocery stores, Mr. Jack's, Mr. Cut Price. We had all of that.
So now
we had all of that.
So now coming up and seeing this black businesses. However, were you not familiar with just Dr. King or the civil rights movement? It didn't affect. So like, how is that? Because I'm not quite.
No, you got to remember, I'm from Dallas, right?
Correct.
Okay. Now there's two incidents that happened. Now in 1963, John F. Kennedy was assassinated.
Correct.
Right in Dallas. That's how I got my first chess pie. I got my first chess pie when John F. Kennedy was assassinated, because I remember it was at lunchtime when it happened, because one of the teachers said fainted, and she had a chess pie in her hand. She fainted and threw the chess pie up in the air. I caught it. That was my first chess pie.
Okay, like a chess pie, like
is it an oatmeal cake? What is that? Yeah, what is a chess pie?
That's a pie that's like eggs, butter, or something like. It's called a chess pie. I don't know if y'all from. I don't know what part of town y'all from. What part of
North Carolina?
Oh, North Carolina. Y'all listen about some chess pie, buttermilk chess pies, buttermilk chess pie. It's buttermilk chess pies.
Okay. Maybe they call it something different. All right.
It's a buttermilk pie. I guess,
buttermilk pie. Okay.
Buttermilk
he said
pie.
The pie went up in the air.
Okay.
He said the pie went up in the air and he caught it.
Yeah, I caught it.
But you caught it and ate it, and that was the first pie.
That's my first chess pie. I've been eating chess pies ever
since. Oh man. So now you came up right in the time where we would say the turbulent 60s, where a lot of change was happening.
Yeah, a lot of change.
Yeah, so John F. Kennedy is assassinated in your hometown. How was the atmosphere like afterwards?
Oh, it was sad. It was scared. Everybody was scared in the city, and it was really a sad, sad. We didn't go to school, until the funeral was over. It was sad. It was a sad moment.
Okay, because now they have opened up some of the documentation, and now Oliver Stone has actually revisited and starting to put together some pieces. Have you seen any of the new stuff that Oliver Stone has put together?
I've heard about some of the stuff, the conspiracy about what had happened. But someone was saying, see, a lot of times when an icon or somebody die in a powerful position that can influence people, it has to be something about money. It's always got to be the economics. Dr. King didn't get killed because he moved the civil rights movement. He got killed because he was against the Vietnam War, and he was going to have the big poor people's march, where he was going to have black people, Indians, poor white people. He's going all the poor. That's a big, powerful movement coming after the elites or coming after the billionaires and all that type of stuff. That's an economic strength that we had to stop that. That's economic strength. That's the reason why he got assassinated.
Absolutely. I believe in her book, The New Jim Crow, Michelle Alexander, she touched upon that. She actually said that prior to the Poorest People's March that was anticipated, the Bacon's Rebellion was the last time that all different races and backgrounds got together, and they almost toppled the newly formed government back in colonial times. So they always had to keep us separate. So that was pretty awesome. Like you made that.
Well, it always has been a populist movement going on. See, the reason why Donald Trump won in 2016, 2016, reason why he won, because it was a populist movement. It was two populist movements at that time. It was Donald Trump and Bernie Sanders. Those was the two populist movements that was going on at the time. And then so the Democratic Party demolished Bernie Sanders. They put a wrench in his stuff. But the Republican Party couldn't stop Donald Trump because he was unorthodox. And so that's reason why. And then so reason why he won, because Hillary thought she had the shoe in. Because remember, Hillary was the Secretary of State for 4 years. So they made a pact with Hillary Clinton. They made a pact with her, because when she ran against Barack Obama, she had to concede to Barack Obama. Correct. So they made a deal with her. The deal was, okay, we're going to make you Secretary of State. If we make you Secretary of State, so when you run for President of the United States, you're gonna be the only somebody gonna have foreign policy experience. Everybody ain't gonna have it. You're gonna have it.
Correct.
Because so you see, she went 4 years and then she stopped. And then we asked her, well, are you going to run for president? Oh, I got to think about it. We know you're going to be running for president of the United States. And she was the Democrat, the single person. She was the only person until Bernie Sanders said, no, I can't let you go by yourself. I got to go with you. And he was an independent. He wasn't a Democrat. He was an independent. But they were so arrogant and so cocky, they let him ride on the Democratic ticket. And then when he hit her, they didn't know he was that strong. Them young people love Bernie Sanders. Yeah. And when they put a wrench in his thing, they wasn't going to vote for her.
Yeah.
It seems like you got a lot of politics. And have you ever thought about, going into some type of politics or anything like that?
I thought of, I worked on, back in 1981, when I was living in Chicago, I worked on the Harold Washington campaign.
Okay, I know.
And we were elected the first Black mayor of Chicago. And they had that thing together. It's called Come Alive, October 5, get ready to vote. Bam, that's what the whole thing. They had the Shy-Lights, they had Gladys Knight, they had everybody, pumping it up. And then when Harold Washington won, I said, wow. Then I came back to Dallas. I went back to Dallas and worked on another campaign. Her name was Annette Strauss. She became the first woman mayor elected. She was a Jewish woman, but she became the first elected woman mayor of Dallas, and I worked on that campaign.
All right. So now, because you done touched on some things. I'm a history buff. Wait a minute. So tell me, how did you get entangled with Jesse? Because he was up there during that time trying to.
How did I get entangled with Jesse?
No, I'm not saying that, but I'm not saying you get entangled personally. But his son, actually, they're from South Carolina. And then all of a sudden he's up there representing in areas of Chicago. And during that time period, it seems like Chicago was actually having a lot of political stuff going on.
Well, what's the question you're asking me?
So now, during that time period, was Jesse involved?
I went to Operation Push.
Okay.
I went down on Drexel. I went down there, 35th, I think it was 35th and Drexel, but it's down on Drexel. I went down to the office. I was right there, sitting right there next to Jesse Jackson Foot, looking as a spectator.
Okay.
Yeah, I was there. I was trying to get involved, see what's going on in Chicago while I was up in there.
Yeah, because looking at it from the outside, like, wait a minute, how did he input his son, Jesse Jackson Jr., into the political scene in Chicago, where Chicago had their own organic kind of like people that was homegrown there, and then you had somebody come in from outside.
Well, was Jesse Jackson Jr. living in North Carolina?
Yeah, he went to college there, and he was from Greenville, South Carolina.
Okay, but then his family, then Jesse Jackson moved to Chicago?
Not Jesse Jackson. His son may have.
I don't know.
No. Jesse Jackson moved to Chicago. He lived in Chicago. Jesse Jackson Sr.
You saying senior or junior?
Senior.
Cool. Son was already an adult. That's what I'm trying to say. He became in the politics. That's why I didn't understand. That's why I was asking.
Yeah, he came to where when you got that inside knowledge, I think it was somebody. I think somebody didn't run for re-election, or something happened.
Correct.
And they needed to fill that spot. And see, sometimes you can do carpetbagging. You can be from somewhere else, but you can come in and get your residence just to run because your name is popular and get elected. That's what happened to Barack Obama and Alan Keyes when they was going each other. Alan Keyes didn't live in Chicago, and Alan Keyes came in and ran as a Senate against Barack Obama.
Yeah.
It was we call it carpetbagging.
Yeah, come in there. All right, so let's swing away from the politics.
Get away from all that, man. It's too heavy, man.
So now you get to high school. So now you're a cool dude in high school.
No.
You ain't get there.
I ain't no cool dude. I was the ugly little kid with gap teeth, bad breath, nappy hair. Girls wouldn't even pay me no attention, man. I'm telling you.
Ain't no way.
I wasn't cool at all. I was a scary little old booger.
You a scary little booger. Okay,
I was scary.
Okay. So now you get to high school, you're a scary little bugger. And now, what was your aspirations? Did you say I'm going to comedy because I'm a funny guy?
Nope.
I have to make the
No,
girls laugh?
I wasn't. No. College, but I mean, I wasn't thinking about no comedy. My thing was, James Brown was my idol.
Okay.
I wanted to be James Brown. Hey, I feel good.
Well, can you sing?
No, I could. I tried my best. I mean, that's the only way you can get the girls. You can sing. If you can sing, you can get the girls. If you couldn't get the girls telling no jokes, they thought you climbing up in school. You a class clown. You ain't gonna be no good. But if you can sing, you can get the girls. Okay. So I was trying to learn how to sing. I had that inspiration to sing. But James Brown was my idol. That's what I wanted to be, like James Brown.
Okay. So now, did you have a perm or was you a natural guy?
Yeah. I perm my hair up. I put a Billy D on it. It D'd, but didn't Billy. It was D. It said, damn, who did your hair?
That's the D.
No, you got the D, but no belly. But so now we progressing. So now you was trying to be an emerging singer. You trying to get the ladies on, hook or crook. You didn't care. So what was the aspiration after high school? What was your direction?
Oh, what was my direction, man? I didn't know. I wanted, like I said, I wanted to be an entertainer. I did, my God-given talent that I could discover that I had was art. I could draw real good. I was a great artist at that time. But I wanted to be like James Brown, I tried football. I went out for football.
In Texas?
Yeah, I went out for football. They hit me one time.
Oh, okay.
And the next day I was in the band. I don't care what nobody said. I was banding. See, where you gonna go? I'm gonna go to Grambling somewhere with a band where I got a good band. I ain't gonna take this. That hit too hard.
Yeah.
I was trying to get my mom out the hood. I was going, Mom, I'm gonna be a football star. They hit me that next day. I say, Mama, we're gonna be on Section 8 for a long time.
Absolutely. Texas, they known for football. That's why I was like, you can be you small string being want to play that. Not in Texas.
So I went on. I wanted to go to college. I wanted to make my mama proud. I went to college. I didn't graduate. I majored in undecided. I went 4 years undecided, and then when I decided what I wanted to be, the college closed down.
Oh, wow. What college was that?
Bishop College in Dallas, Texas.
Okay, I'm not familiar with this.
You're not familiar?
Okay.
You supposed to be history buff. HBCU.
I'm history.
1881.
Bishop College?
You look, Texas Southern. I was thinking about, maybe even Texas Christian, Texas El Paso, but now you said Bishop. I was like, whoa.
No, Bishop
even
College. Paul Quinn took over it.
Paul Quinn.
You ain't heard of Paul Quinn?
No, I'm not
familiar. Out of Waco, Texas. See, Bishop moved from Marshall, Texas to Dallas. Then when it closed down, Paul Quinn moved from Waco. Waco or job or somewhere. Waco, I think, to Dallas.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the little Easter part.
Okay, so
but my inspiration was James Brown. I wanted to be an entertainer, and then when I got out of high school, I didn't know what I wanted. I went to college and I played in the band for a little while, but at the time I need money. I needed something. I needed some money, and the bus company was hiring for bus drivers for purpose to clean the buses. Okay. And so I took that job. I was making more money. She bought me a Delta 88. I was looking good.
I seen on another interview, you said you were a bus driver and you got fired for not picking up the people.
Yeah, I got fired for passing up people on the bus stop. Supervisor pulled me to the side and told me, why you keep on passing up people? I said, hell, you said stay on time. Shoot, if I stop to pick up people, I'm going to be late.
So now you're working for the city, working for the bus. You got making some money. So now you figuring you're going to do this from now on?
No, I did the bus thing. Mm-hmm. Then, let's see. I was still trying to find myself.
Fair enough.
I met my brother. So I didn't get a chance to meet my father until I was like 19. My biological father, I didn't meet him until I was 19. And he had another son born in the same year I was born in, but he was a little bit more popular, and he had more ways with the women, sort of say.
Okay.
And so he was in partners with somebody doing. He would go and promote parties, and so but him and his partner fell out. So when I came into his life, he was telling me I was working for the bus company, had a little money. He was telling me what the situation was, and I was trying to connect, to try to get in, to be accepted, or trying to find some connection, because I didn't meet my father until I was 19, and he was already hooked up with him. So I say, man, hey, I'll be your partner. I go in business with you, So I had the money, so I bought the turntables, the speakers, the albums, the things, and we would go rent the hotels, and we would throw the parties, charge the people. We were doing good. Girls was coming at me, boy. I thought I was looking good, and they was coming at me. They were coming at me because I had doing the parties. Because they thought they want to get the hookup and all that kind of stuff. They didn't care about it. And so I had that going on, and then so I was doing that for a while with him. But I grew up in the church. I grew up at the Church of God in Christ, and they was very strict, in the Church of God in Christ. So when I was doing this coming from a nerdy, not no attention, then coming to get some attention, then the religious stuff hit in where you thought, man, I don't know if I should be doing this. I need to get close to Jesus. I need to get to church.
All the guilt.
Yeah. So I said, I'm going to get back into church. So that was in 1979. 79 that I got into the church, and I said, I want to get to the bottom of the truth, what life is and what life is all about. And so I gave all of that stuff that I bought with my brother. I gave it to my brother. So
you just gave the whole business, the whole enterprise,
the whole everything to him, because I was going into the church.
Okay.
And then I tried.
Go ahead.
Yeah, and I tried to preach. I became an ordained a preacher. I got my license to be a preacher, and all of that kind of stuff.
So I can see that. So he said life is a preacher, but then I've seen on something else that said you were actually like practicing Buddhism at some point. So how do you get from?
Well, this you see, like everything is a transition. Everything is a transition. So that's when I said in 1979, I wanted to I went to church. I said, I'm gonna get to the bottom of life and what life is and all of that. So I grew up in the Church of God in Christ. I went into the Church of God in Christ. But Church of God in Christ at that time was backwards. They were so strict, but they were kind of like backwards. You couldn't wear pants. You couldn't do. There's a lot of there's a lot of.
I grew up that way. Yeah. So
it was kind of backwards.
No earrings, no movies, all of that.
Right. Then so I left Church of God in Christ, and I went into Baptist. Now, Baptists, they can do anything you want to do, just about smoke. You can smoke or drink your fill before you even get to the pulpit.
We're not going to put that on there.
You ain't got to put it on there.
We are.
You can edit what you want to edit, but I'm just telling you what was going on. I said, okay, but I got my license at the Baptist and all that kind of stuff. But I was still wasn't happy in my soul or my journey. I wasn't happy, and I was working for a grocery store, sacking groceries. And so when I came out, and this Japanese lady, I took her groceries out to her car, and she say, "Are you happy?" I'm faking out. Yeah, I'm happy. But deep down inside, I'm crying.
She's trying to date you or something. Okay. You happy at home? She trying to date you or something?
Oh, no, she wasn't trying to date me. Okay. She was just saying, "Are you happy?" She said, "Are you happy?" I said, "Yeah, I'm happy." She does just because she's a person who was religious. Just like Jehovah's Witnesses or people like that. They were trying to find out so they can try to recruit you into what they was doing. So so she asked me, was I happy? I said, yeah, I was happy. But at the time I was going through a separation. And at the time I didn't know what I wanted to do. My life, I didn't want to, it was just like a failure. It was just like, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. And so, she asked me, was I happy? And I'm fronting it off. Yeah, I'm trying to play it off. Yeah. But that deep inside, I'm crying. Deep down inside, I'm hurt. Deep down inside, I'm lost. I don't know what I'm going to do. And then so She said, "Oh, I want to take you somewhere. Take you, meet me, dude." I said, "Take you." So I wind up, she taking me to Irving, Texas, to a meeting where they had this, everybody was sitting down. It was different nationalities was sitting down, and they had this scroll, and everybody was chanting Nam Yo Ho Ringe Kyo. And so they was chanting this phrase, and the harmony in the room and the different nationalities together, kind of like, you know, and I felt that harmony, it kind of inspired me. This is Buddhism. You know, and I said, "Oh, Buddhism? No, you can't do. That's the devil. You can't do no Buddhism and stuff like that." My parents, boy, my people killed me talking about some Buddhism. You know, but the more I studied it, the more I understood it, and the more I liked it. And so I practiced it for 8 years. When I joined really, I was introduced to it in Dallas, but I was on my way to Chicago. Okay. So when they introduced it to me, and then I moved to Chicago, that's when I joined, received my Gahanzen, and started practicing Buddhism for 8 years.
Okay. Now, I want to go back just briefly because, you know, we're just talking about your journey, about you and your father. How was that relationship? You know, like, did you ever feel like the need to have the father, being that you grew up the oldest, or were you resentful when you met him because your mom had to grow with the hardships?
It was a shocker to me. I knew that the guy name that I was carrying was not my father. And I knew the guy that raised me was not my father.
Okay, so you had a stepfather.
Well, I didn't have I wouldn't say I called him a stepfather. you know, you can call him a stepfather, but you know, you can call him. He was a man that had 3 kids by my mom, 3 younger kids by my mom.
Got you.
You get what I'm saying?
So yeah. So he was your father.
So, but it was never married, but he was there off and on. If we got put out the house, if somebody needed to move us, he would move us. If we needed a house to get played, he would help us. And you know, and one day I remember with him, we had a telephone. He told me to get off the telephone. I didn't get off the telephone. And then I said, "You ain't my daddy." And then bam, he knocked the hell out of me. You know, and then, but I start feeling remorse from that because I say, here's a man that get us school supplies and clothes when the one, I didn't know who my father was, and the one who carried his name, he didn't do nothing either. And I'm just treating this man like this. I went back to him and I apologized to him. You know,
as a kid.
As a kid.
Man, that's tremendous.
That's big.
Like I would think like somebody like older, but like, yo, I apologize.
No.
That's deep.
I apologized to him because then I told him if I got big and made some money, I was gonna buy him a brand new truck. I was gonna buy him a whole, but he died at, I think he died at 50. He died at 50. And that was the most saddest part, you know, because I wasn't able to get him that truck, you know. But no, so as you get old, you know, you realize certain different things, man. We were blessed because, I mean, if anybody came through us, you know, he did. And my mama kind of liked him, but didn't like him. I think he probably did some things, you know, that what, you know, yeah, she liked him, but didn't like him. You know, she kind of a little, you know, I saw it, she mistreated him a little bit.
That's men and women things that.
Because he wasn't the man. You know, he wasn't a man that probably dressed up all the time. He had raggedy cars. He worked in cement. His partner would mess over him. You know, but he was a good guy. He was a good guy. He did the best he could. You know, he did the best he could. And so that's what I liked about him. But when I met my biological father, you know, he was bragging on me. Man, he looked just like Carl. That's my other brother, his other son. He sounded just like him. He looked just like him. and all that kind of stuff, showing me the grandmama and everything. I stayed with my grandmama for a little bit. I was trying to get that connection and everything. But that short period of time when I got to meet him, I learned a lot from it. What kind of character. He was the type of person make a way for himself. He don't have to, he the type of person, he don't have to go to no 9 to 5. He'll create a job for himself.
Entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Without the classes.
Yeah, without the class. He owned horses, he had houses, he had it. I mean, and I was just learning from him just from that short period of time. Just learning from him. I said, wow. So it wasn't no remorse. It wasn't no it was just happy to, I'm connected, because see, my mom had 6 kids, right? She had 6 kids, I was the oldest. And so you're in school, you're trying to play this social game. I'm talking to everybody, I'm the only child. I'm the only child. I ain't got no sisters and brothers. Then when I got in the fight, I said, shit, let me go get my sisters and brothers. I need some reinforcement. I need the cavalry to come up in here.
Okay, absolutely. So now you're finding your spiritual journey. You met your father, met your brother. You were married because you were separating because you were finding your spiritual awakening. And now you find this new religion that's kind of appealing to you in Buddhism. So now your journey is there. How was the disconnect from Christianity? Because you're in the South, the Bible Belt.
Yeah.
Everybody go to church on Sunday in Texas.
Yeah.
Football on Fridays, church on Sundays. Barbecue on Saturdays.
Everybody go to church, and I understand we're in the Bible Belt, but you can't really grow if you sticking with one religion and not learn other opposite parts of religions. So therefore your mind can open up better if you learn some aspect. You might not agree with everything, because I didn't agree everything with Buddhism. I didn't, everything. Mm-hmm. And then I eventually left Buddhism. I started getting into the Third Eye Conference, where we started talking about what Africa had done for civilization. And I went to see Dr. John Henry Clark. And when I saw Dr. John Henry Clark, I was like, wow, man, this guy believed like I did. He's blind and he talking this stuff. And I would bought every little tape that he had, just listening, studying about, Africa and getting deep. And then I was, after all of that, I still wound up going to Africa. I went to Africa, I went to Egypt, saw the pyramids and, all of that. I mean, you just on that journey. And then you got to the point where everything black, black people invented this, black people that. You start going there, black, but you still was lacking something. Still lacking something. Because sometimes it could be like a false confidence or overconfidence or something, but you're lacking something. And then I started getting into, I don't know, this philosopher named Alan Watts. He's on YouTube, and he got a lot of channels. He was born in 1915. He died in 1973, I believe. And I identify more with his philosophy than any other people that I've heard.
Yeah, is he the one that used to be on the board and writing a lot of the connections between Africanism, Christianity, and the stuff? Because he was an older white guy. It was a white guy. He had glasses, and he breaks stuff down on a whiteboard. And I never knew who that man was. He had
Alan Watts. It might be him, but I haven't seen that part. But I understand how a lot of traditions come, like the Catholic Church. The Catholic Church adopted everything from Africa. Correct. Everything is set up, that kingdom and stuff like that, from Africa. Ptolemy was the first white or first foreigner to be a pharaoh, sort of say. But he got that from Alexander the Great. When he died, they started splitting up this whole his generals parts of stuff that they had conquered. Right. So it's a lot, but that internal battle and that duality, I learned a lot from Alan Watts.
Awesome. When you just said Dr. Clark, I put him number one. I think when I was in college and I heard him speak in a lecture, he came to our school. And I was just so amazed. And I promised you, if I hadn't been a junior in college, I would have dropped out. I was like, I'm too far in to just drop out now. But
Right.
I listened to him and I really felt completely like an idiot. Like, and he was just breaking down simple things. And I was like,
I don't even know who that is. This is the first time I've even heard.
John Henry Clark?
Google
I've
it.
never heard of John Henry Clark.
Google it. Google it.
Nah, go to YouTube.
Oh, I'm going to Google it after this. And I'm saying that because I'm sure there's other people that's going to listen to this that may not know. Like, I actually do not know who that is, but I will definitely Google it.
Yeah,
and saying all that. You know, it's sad to say, sorry, I didn't know, but you know, you learn as you go. Now you do better, you do better when you know better. You know better, you do better when you got it. But
whatever the phrase is, you know what it is.
Whatever it is. Yeah, but I want to say all that because a lot of time I'm just gonna, go on a little tangent here. But like comedians, when you talk to comedians, you just want to laugh, funny, and people don't really take the time to get to know them as a person. And you've done a lot of things. Like I would have never. The stuff that you told and the places you visit, not that I didn't think that you would have done that, but when you don't, when you always just laughing or looking for a joke, you miss out on some good information that some people have. You know what I mean? So I appreciate that. I really do.
Well, laughter is a way of to hold on to knowledge, tell the truth about it. If you can, because comedy is really a journey, and to give you. Because a lot of times people are a lot of comedians are battling some internal problems. And they're trying to present it, and sometimes they might be shy, and that stage is the only outlet that they have to let it out. And some of them read a lot, Chris Rock, I know Chris Rock reads a lot. Dave Chappelle reads a lot. There's a lot of people that reads a lot. And so you got to have information to print, but comedy is what you can relate to. If I can relate to it, it's funny. If I can't relate to it, it's not funny to me. It's not to mean you're not funny. I just can't relate to what you're saying. But I did this. I'm sorry, because I was looking at this research and it was talking about like back in the day when you had a black comedian and they would get on stage. The black people had to sit up in the balcony, the white people got to sit in the front. But they were noticing that when the comedian would tell jokes, the black people would laugh when some of the white people didn't. And so what they told them was, don't laugh until the white people laugh, because they were like, why is it, it's getting a little weird. So they told them, do not laugh. And then when the white people laugh, then y'all can laugh. And so there was this whole discrepancy about that. But that was all along the lines of like when they got before the Red Fox and putting things, that's why they end up putting the thing on like on record. And they were doing like the paper bag, like if you were a comedian and you would put the information on a record that people could buy it and you can listen to it and you wouldn't have to censor when you laugh. You wouldn't have to wait, to laugh when somebody laughs. So they did that in order for people to enjoy the black comedy, at home. Maybe the ones that were, a little bit more filthy in the mouth as well, too. That's where you have to buy them. So I thought that was like interesting. I never even thought about that, but. Right. And when you opened up and Big O was talking about, did I experience any racism and and so we're trying to figure out, is there a racism running rampant in the 2000s or the 21st century like it is? But it really has never been, and people might jump on me, but I'm going to say it. If you really study it, it's really not racism. What we're facing is classism.
Okay.
Classism.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And
you can have classism that seem like racism. You can have classism within your own community, within your own family. You can have an uncle that probably done made it and an aunt that's struggling on her butt. And the uncle don't want to associate with the aunt because them Negroes ain't doing nothing. They lazy, ain't such and such and such and such, but they ain't gonna be, y'all, every time she comes, you want to borrow some money. I don't want to see her. No more raggedy kids. You got bad. All the kids ain't gonna be number cutthroats and thieves. That's all.
Wait a minute. So now, this is where we're gonna get some good banter right now. Because I love what you're saying. So now you're saying classism, but now let's look at the perspective of if you're a middle class or emerging, I won't say middle class, but emerging, a working class trying to merge to a middle class, and you move to a predominantly white neighborhood because you want to feel middle class. you're going to feel racism because you're moved up in class. Because
no, you're gonna feel uncomfortable because there's not a lot of you in there. There's not a lot of you in there. Just think when you go to school and you have a school that's mixed with black and white.
Okay.
The blacks congregate with the blacks, and the whites congregate, and then you might have one or two that might break out the pads. This is, try to prove a point, but they automatically gravitate. And then, so therefore, when you enter like a middle class, or sort of say, you're moving from the hood to the middle class, then it's not enough. There's not a lot of you in there. So you're gonna try to relate to, and maybe try to force yourself into that world when they really didn't want to accept you, or they just ain't comfortable, or could be that comfortable with you.
Isn't that racism?
I would say I would say it's kind of like a president. Okay, look. When you think of rich, who do you think of?
Bill Gates.
No, white people.
Oh, white people.
When you think of poor, who do you think of?
I would think black people.
Black people.
Correct.
Because this whole adoption that we got is a caste system.
Correct.
It's a caste system.
Isabella,
and there's 4 castes in the caste system. You have the priest is the top of the caste.
Brahmin. Gotcha.
The warrior and the rulers is the second class.
Now the rulers at the top, but warriors.
Huh? Warriors and rulers.
Rulers at the top.
No, not. It's a priest.
I got you.
Everybody was following what the religious people does. It was the priest who's supposed to be so close to God.
Which was the ruler.
Which was the priest.
Okay.
It was the priest first.
I'm telling you.
Then,
you know what?
Then the ruler and the warrior.
Gotcha.
Okay? The warrior protected the priest. Mm-hmm. And then it became a war between the priest and the ruler. So who's gonna take the power? Then you got the merchants. Then you got the laborers.
Gotcha.
It's a caste system.
Absolutely.
And everybody's trying to move up. And so, and you was in India, you could never move out of your caste. So whatever your father did, you did what your father did.
Right. Yeah. Still to this day.
No. In the United States, you don't do it. In the United States, people can be what you want to be.
Yeah, no. Yes, you're absolutely right. But
right, you can be what you want to be. I didn't have to follow my footsteps. I'm not going to run my dad's company because I don't want to do that company. I'm not going to be no cop because he's copying. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely. So that's what we're dealing with, and people don't see it.
Gotcha.
They don't see it, and that's the reason why it's prolonging. And you can say white supremacy here or inferiority here is because people don't see it.
Okay.
But see, classism, there's no, it happens economically wise. But when you say racism, it happened emotionally wise. Because I want to be accepted.
Oh, that. Absolutely.
Wow.
So now, if we look at the classism, give you a reference, quick plug. Isabella Wilkerson, she just came out with a book. It's on the bestseller list. It's called Caste, and she actually looks at the American ethos and look at the caste of our nation and how it developed as well. Mm-hmm. And she speaks directly to that. So if you want to shout out her book, Isabella Wilkerson,
because the Indians is the deplorable caste of the Untouchables.
Untouchables, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so, the Indians are the Untouchables.
So now. You're moving up because we still talk about this journey and
we're moving up. We ain't got to the Shuckey Duckey now.
We ain't. I'm ready for the Shuckey.
We ain't got to the Shuckey Duckey.
But the great part is, your journey is the most important part because this is where people can learn from how you became the great Shuckey. And your journey is important because sometimes you want to say, look, you got this in, but look what he had to go through to become this. Right. So that's what I want to make sure that we tell the story correctly and let you tell your story.
Right.
So now, okay, you're on this journey, having a spiritual awakening, and now you're going through, some turmoil. You're getting separated, but you're also dealing with your spirituality. Right. And now, where do you land as far as employment? Because you're stepping away from being a minister.
Okay. After I went to Chicago. and worked on the Harold Washington campaign. That was in 81.
Right.
I came back to Dallas. I didn't have a job. See, because I went to Chicago to get a job in radio.
Okay.
And so I was a radio, supposed to be an ad salesman. I was selling ads for the radio. Okay. And so they told me I was going to give me 3 months to get myself together in Chicago. Well, I didn't make a sale in a month, and they let me go. Gotcha. So now I'm in Chicago, no plane ticket, no cash, because they paid me a little salary, a little money, but they let me go. So I'm stuck in Chicago, and now how I'm gonna get out of Chicago? I started doing a lot of different things, selling Time Light books downtown on Michigan, and I walk out down in there. But I had a little change, and it was a service station that I went to. It was on 51st. I can't think Cornell, 51st Cornell, around that area. And I told the man they had a mechanic shop in there. And so they would fix the cars. So I told him, I said, man, when you fix the cars, when you think they want their cars clean, when they pick them up? He said, yeah. I said, I'll tell you what, I'll give you $5 on every car. I'll give you $5. I'll give you $5 on every 5 cars. I mean, the 5th car, you get the $5, and I clean up the cars. And and we'll work it out like that. Because I got me a steel wheel brush, some Armor All, and some dishwashing liquid. Yeah. And I was washing cars, making my money. I made enough money to give me a plane ticket to get my ass back to Dallas.
Wow, that's a hustle for real.
Just like your dad, make his own job. Huh?
Yeah, make his own job. And so when I left for Chicago in 81, I started me a little car wash business in Dallas. Trying to make it work, but it didn't last long. I did much. And then so while I was doing that, while I was doing the car wash thing, I was going to different paint and body shops trying to get their car washing thing. Gotcha. And so I was washing those cars, and then I ran into a paint and body shop where the guy that was washing the cars had quit. So they needed a permanent person to work at that body shop. And so I wound up getting that job and working there doing that. And then I was getting tired of that because I was working outside, getting wet and all that kind of stuff. So I started winding up working for a hospital where I was the storeroom clerk, where I put up the food, unload the trucks, and doing all that kind of stuff and everything. So I was doing that for a while. And then one day we was in the break room at the hospital, and they had an ad in the paper, bus drivers. They're looking for bus drivers in that in the ad. And then so they were looking for bus drivers in the ad. So I said, I'm gonna do this right here. And so the guy said, everybody, no man, they ain't gonna hire you, man. You working in dietary, you putting up food cans, stuff like that. So they was needing them. So I went to work that day, put my little old suit and stuff on, and then I went and I auditioned or interviewed, and I got the job as a bus driver in 1985 in Dallas, being a bus driver for the suburbs, because that was the new edition of extending the mass transportation thing. So I got that and started working in that. Then so while I was doing that, I was driving and I was saying Shuckey Duckey all the time. Every time something happened, I said, oh, Shuckey Duckey. And everybody would start laughing and playing. This is 1985. They started laughing and playing and all that kind of stuff. And so I was making some money doing a little this. I had a friend of mine who had put a rap record together called Get Live in 85.
Get Live in 85. Okay.
He said Get Live in 85. So I put all my money behind him. I put my money behind him to do Get Live in 85. We only had a short period of time to do this because 85 is over. That song gonna be no good. So we worked that song, worked it, we say Get Live in 85, gonna kick up the years all through the years, Get Live in 85, just tearing it up. Dum, 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 we were putting it out there. And then so at the end of 85, December of 85, we all got in the room together and say, what are we gonna do in 86? The guy said, well, I'm gonna come out with In the Mix in 86. I said, you gonna come out with mix it? I said, I'll tell you what.
If I find out you came out with that, did you trademark that?
In the Mix in 86?
In Live in 85 and In the Mix in 86?
Oh, they did. I did. It wasn't my thing.
Okay, because we got it up in New York and New Jersey when I was younger. That's why when you said that, I was like, yo.
Yeah, but the guy that did it was from Washington, D.C.
Gotcha.
And he had the go-go bands. Okay. And so he had the go-go, the go-go music. So his name was Patrick Curtis, but we call him Hogan Star. And he the one was behind all of those names and doing all that kind of stuff. So I don't know what he did with it. And then so I said, okay. They said, well, we're gonna come up with In the Mix in 86. I said, okay, y'all go ahead on do In the Mix in 86. I'm gonna do the Shuckey Duckey thing. I'm gonna do the Shuckey Duckey thing. Because see how it all parallel is, in 1984, I wanted to go to Japan. I was practicing Buddhism, so I wanted to go to Japan. And so, but I didn't have the money. I needed to raise like $3,000. So at that time, the phrase "Where's the beef" was real popular.
Yep.
And so I was gonna sell me some "Where's the beef" t-shirts to raise my money to go to Japan. And somebody said I couldn't do that because I didn't have the copyright.
Correct.
And then so I said, okay. So I read an article to the advertising agency that came up with the slogan. I called them. They told me to call Wendy's International. I called Wendy's International, and Wendy's International told me to call Pro Sports, who had the license agreement to sell Where's the Beef t-shirts and stuff across the country. So I got in touch with them, signed a contract for like 3% of what, if I sold anything, I get 3%, some sort like that. And then they sent me this paraphernalia stuff down. They sent me bumper stickers, mugs. They said they were gonna come out with a country and western song called Where's the Beef? I said, oh man,
I remember that little lady.
Yeah. So I was on. I was getting ready to sell these t-shirts. Then Clara, the old woman, got in trouble with Wendy's because she did a spaghetti commercial using the same phrase. And they sued her. They sued her.
They sued the old lady.
Old lady.
I didn't know that until you said that other thing. I didn't know that.
That's nostalgia. I'm like, wow.
The old lady. Yeah. After all that money she made for them.
She sued them.
Because she was popular. And then so she turned around and died. And the whole campaign died. And then I said, dog, I wish I could come up with something that I could market and have full control. I said, shoot, Shuckey Duckey. I do Shuckey Duckey. So I took the same concept of Where's the Beef, because they didn't send me all this stuff, and I just I didn't reinvent the wheel. I just copied what they did.
Got you. Repackaged, but bumper stickers, cups, and everything.
Bumper sticker, bumpers. I had t-shirts, nightgowns, all of that stuff. I had a doll. I had all of that stuff.
Shuckey Duckey.
I was gonna do it. And then, so what I did was, I put out a flyer. I put Shuckey Duckey. I say Shuckey Duckey is a new phrase for 1986. It's hot, new, and fun to say. Use Shuckey Duckey in your vocabulary today. And I had 10,000 flyers with that definition on it. And I walked around Dallas every time they had a concert. I was passing out them flyers.
Shuckey. That's right.
Yep.
Still to this day.
And it caught on.
Yeah,
it caught on like wildfire. It caught on like wildfire. I remember saying it. Way over here in West Virginia, and everybody like Shuckey Duckey. And that's before, you know what I mean? It caught on so big. It caught on with the politicians. So even when you Google your name, you look up stuff, that he even took it to another one. And, you know, you see that video, when you pull your name up, his name is right there for saying that.
Herman Cain did it. Herman Cain.
Yes, Herman Cain.
What's his name? From the WW, Booker T from the WW.
From Texas too. Yeah.
And he from Texas. He from Houston. From Liberty. Texas City. I think Texas City. Something. And then he gonna talk about he didn't copy that from me. He made it up himself. Yeah. And he all on WW.
No.
Yes, he did. He all on WW. I'm gonna tell you somebody. You know somebody who used it first?
Oh.
After I did Def Jam, you know who used it first?
Is that
Quincy Jones.
I said it in the joint album. Yeah.
Hold up.
Which song was in this?
Did you learn from Wendy? Did you go sue him?
Well, okay. At that time, Steve Harvey had a manager named Warren. Warren came to me about that. And he said, man, we need to go after him. We know we got him. But he was busy at the time. I said, okay. So he was getting ready to work it out. But he turned around and died in a limousine in Steve Harvey's arm. And so I said, oh man. So it was, and I wanted to try to go to the funeral, but I couldn't make it from, I think I was trying to get to Fort Wayne to get over there to it was in Michigan somewhere, Bar Harbor. I was trying to get, get there to it. But the planes was all messed up and everything. I was trying to get that to it. And then so after his death, I tried to do it myself. So I went and got me an entertainment lawyer and told him what the situation was. Mm-hmm. And the entertainment lawyer told me that if I did that, it could mess me up in the industry. He said, you might get 30,000, but it'll mess you up in the industry.
Yeah, I got you.
And so I didn't touch it.
Had a way though. Yeah.
Smart.
Yeah,
smart.
But it was cool to have like somebody like Quincy Jones to do, because Quincy Jones was big and cool at the time. Absolutely. So
that's a great album. Yeah, I think you said Mac 10 and Dr. Dre.
Yeah, Mac 10. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's a lot of people did. I mean, the phrase just caught on. It was something that just caught on. And see what happened when I was debating. I did like a market survey because I was trying to make this thing for kids at first. I was trying to make it for kids. And so in the survey, one little boy said, if Eddie Murphy was to do this or say this, it would be cool. Well, I knew I couldn't afford no Eddie Murphy. So stand-up comedy was the way to go. Because when you say it, people laugh. I said, do stand-up comedy. And so I went to a West End cabaret. It's a West End, like open mic night, told one joke. When I come off that stage, the guy said, hey man, I like your voice and I like your stage presence. He said, there's an organization called the Comedy Gym that teach you ins and outs of stand-up comedy. Mm-hmm. And so I joined.
So now I started bus driver. Now you go try out. That's where they transition. Yeah. Now I'm trying to figure out, like, you working 9 to 5. I'm
working bus driver and doing comedy. I'm working bus driver and I'm working on my routine. 5 minutes, we had to work on 3 minutes worth of material till we try to get up to 15. They told us like an opening act would have to have about 7 to 10 minutes. Mm-hmm. They said a feature had to have from 20 to 25 minutes, and the headliner had to have 45 minutes. And so we were working towards those 45 minutes of material. And then but when I started out, I was performing comedy. It was like performing the comedy and not being the comedy. There's a difference between performing the comedy and being the comedy.
Can you elaborate on that?
I got you. I get it.
Performing comedy is you can do little tricks to make people laugh, or you can do, hack stuff to make them laugh, and not really be emotionally tied to the joke.
Okay.
But when you become comedy, you're emotionally tied to the joke. People can feel you. They can feel if you are authentic. They can feel you, that you're not using little tricks.
Got you. So you're talking about the things you've been through
Right, talking about things you've been through. Because see, a lot of people don't like to open up like that. Because a lot of times people want to feel like they're a little bit above. Some comedians want to feel like they're a little bit above the audience. But then the most valuable comic is the vulnerable comedy. One who's vulnerable, who's not afraid. He's not putting on a mask.
Gotcha.
He's really being, this is me, man. You either like me or you don't. You know, because some people, if some comedians, if they didn't laugh at them, shoot, they would scratch your car up. If they bomb, they scratch your car up. They get mad. They ready to shoot somebody. I'm telling you.
Goodness gracious.
Did you ever bomb? You ever afraid of bombing? Did you ever bomb? Did you die?
I done bombed many times, and I had to sit back. Why do I bomb? Most of the time when you bomb, you're trying to be something that you're not. You're not really who you're not comfortable who you are. You sometimes you're not prepared.
That's what I said. Don't know your audience. Right.
Well, you got to know you. You ain't necessarily know your audience because because you don't know who's in that audience. So, but I'm
saying, like, if you go into somewhere and you have, a different culture, a different type of people, you might tell different jokes. You might go to church, you tell different jokes. So that ain't got nothing to do with it.
No, I ain't got nothing to do with it. I can switch up my jokes. I mean, I just can't switch up the jokes just like that. You got either you gonna understand if you can relate to it, it's funny. If you can't relate to it, it's not funny. I can't switch it up like that.
Okay. Fair enough.
So I've got to be who I am. Because I did that where I tried to switch it up. I had an audience and I was using somebody else's joke trying to make it because it wasn't mine, it wasn't working, but it still didn't come out good.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So you got to
I got it.
You got to be who you are. Because people paying to see who you are, not nobody else. If I go in and sound like Richard Pryor, they're gonna say that's Richard Pryor. If I go in and sound like Eddie Murphy, that's Eddie Murphy. Bill Cosby, that's Bill Cosby. I gotta come in there with me. And so if I go on the show, I got to do Shuckey Duckey Quack Quack. If I don't do Shuckey Duckey Quack Quack, they feel like they ain't had no show.
Facts, and more facts. So now, where is the transition where you said you're having good benefits because you're working for the bus, you're driving a bus, so you're getting the city or state pension. All right, you're getting benefits.
I ain't getting no pension.
They ain't getting no pension for the bus.
He say that like he got fired.
I didn't work for number 6 years.
I thought you get that you gotta be there.
I ain't get no pension. No, what happened is I was trying to get we started out, we'll get the improvs or the funny bones, and everybody in the class would invite 5 people to our show. So we get a crowd on a Monday when the club is not open. We pack it out. Everybody got a chance to do 3 minutes apiece in front of that audience. And we did that in Dallas for a while. Then we started going outside of Dallas. We started going to Houston, Austin, all the other places in Texas. So we made it regional.
Okay.
Then after that, we took a shot at LA. So in 98, I think in 90, 91, the year that Robin Harris died, we went to.
Oh, that's early.
We went to LA. Went to LA to showcase. The guys set it up, and so when I came off the stage in LA, it was a casting director for Hard Copy. Said he liked me. He liked my jokes. He liked my style, and he said, "But I can't do anything for you in Texas." And then so. When matter of fact, I took the bus to LA, had the Trailways Greyhound. I took the bus to LA, and then so I got on the bus going back to Dallas. And when I got back to Dallas, I gave the people my 6 weeks notice and saying that I'm quitting in 91. I'm going to LA.
Okay, so now
LA,
you went from
Jersey too.
So now you're on the journey because you already said, I'm making this commitment. Because if you went to LA, came back, and you said, I'm quitting this stable job and I'm quitting and I'm trying this comedy thing out because I think I'm good at it. Now how do your family feel about that?
Oh, I was separated at the time. going through some stuff. Oh, my mom was happy. I mean, my mom supported me in anything. If I fail. Oh, you did good. So she was there. I just, I didn't want to fail. And so I left June or July of 91 to go to LA. And it wasn't working out. It wasn't working out. It was terrible. I mean, it was people calling me up there and say, "Shuckey, are you a star yet?" I said, "Yeah, starving my ass off." That's
I think too. You were in LA, you were in California, and then you end up on East Coast too, because you did the Power Field, you did some things over there.
Well, see,
I haven't seen.
Go see what happened though. What happened with that is this. Okay, so I was in LA in '91. Okay, stuff wasn't working out. I had another guy up there who came up there, and Godfather Benny, who came up there too. And so we was in the park and we was drinking. Talking about we want to be successful. I want to be successful too. All that kind of stuff. But I just didn't like LA. It's something about LA I just didn't connect. I just didn't like. And so I wound up going back to Dallas in that November. I told everybody I was coming back for Thanksgiving just to visit, but all my stuff was packed in the car. And so when I got back to Dallas, my daughter told me, she said that they got a comedy club. Steve Harvey got a comedy club in Dallas called Vuku Ray. I said, oh. So I said, okay. And so I went to the club, showed Steve Harvey my resume and all that type of stuff. And he was looking at it, yeah. So I went in the bathroom. And I was in the stall. Steve Harvey and his friend, bodyguard or whatever, not bodyguard, but one of his partners came in the bathroom behind me, but they didn't know I was in the stall. And they looked at the resume and saying, Shuckey Duckey, man, he been around them white folks. I don't think it's gonna click with these black people, and all that kind of stuff. And I didn't say nothing. So when he left out the stall, then I came out. And then and I had put my name on the list to go up through comedy. And he called me and I hit him. Because even though I was around the white people, but my stuff was still black. It was, it just didn't have the cussing in it. It was still black, right, but it was still funny. And I had to try to make it, because when the classes I was taking, we had to do it without the cussing. So I had to make this stuff work without the cussing. And I was killing him. I was killing him. Then Steve also said, "Oh man, you funny. You're gonna host my Apollo night." So I started hosting his Apollo night, and then I started hosting the show when he was going out of town. I would host for him, and I was so impressed with Steve, because he used to come on this song. He used to come on this song called by Michael Jackson. Can't let her get away. That song. Boom, he would come on with that. Boy, I said, ugh. So he was out of town this particular week. So I told him, put that song on, man. I'm gonna come on to that song. I came on to that song, and his partners come to me. Who you think you? You think you Steve Harvey? You think you Steve? I said, no, man, I just like that song.
Absolutely. It's nice. So now I gotta, because for me, now let's make a connection where he doesn't think that you would do very well because it's real clean, but at the same time, he is a very clean comic. So himself, because I actually thought you use Shuckey Duckey so you wouldn't cuss. You'd be like, oh, Shuckey Duckey, instead of using a curse word. So that's how I was introduced to your comedy, when I was younger.
Yeah.
Right. And that's the way, because that's the way I was trying to put the phrase together. Okay. So it was, I had the phrase first before the comedy.
Gotcha.
Right.
So, so in order for me to tie it together to market it, because I didn't have any money. So I had to market it. The best way to market it was do stand-up comedy and sell t-shirts at the end of the show. That was my marketing strategy.
Gotcha.
And then so it was Cecil Armstrong, the funniest bus driver in America, better known as Shuckey Duckey. The title was too long.
That's long. Yeah.
That's long.
Cecil, then it came to be Cecil Armstrong. Then became the funniest bus driver, Shuckey Duckey. That was 2. So I just said, you just get it. What I'm trying to promote, Shuckey Duckey. Yeah. I use Shuckey Duckey, and I knew I was gonna get some flack from it because see, using the phrase Shuckey Duckey or using it as your name can limits you.
Gotcha.
It really limits you.
Gotcha.
You know. So and I knew that, but my goal was to sell them T-shirts, to sell that rap record that I done. That's what my goal was, you know.
Okay.
That's what I was going.
So now
going with it.
So now you're hosting the part of Apollo, you know.
No. I didn't host the Apollo.
Not Apollo, excuse me. Apologize.
Okay, what? Okay, so I'm opening for Steve. I'm opening for Steve. I'm hosting his room at Steve, called Steve Harvey and Friends. So I'm hosting his room. And Steve was going all across the country. He was getting, a lot of stuff. I didn't know how connected. Steve Harvey was really connected from the ground level of all the comedians. Because all the comedians I saw before they got big, I was introduced to all of them. From Bernie Mac to,
Sinbad, yes.
No, not Sinbad, but it was Bernie Mac. It was Cedric the Entertainer. It was D.L. Hughley. It was... not Janet Brown, but those are the people. AJ Jamal, all those people. I was introduced to all those. Simply Marvelous, Adele Givens. All of these people I was introduced before they even got big.
Yeah,
before they even got big, and but that was through Steve Harvey. So Steve Harvey got the Apollo. He got it. They asked him, to host the Apollo. And then he said, I'm gonna try to get you on. He said, I'm gonna get you. The reason why I got on Apollo was because of Steve Harvey.
Okay. So
that's how I got on.
Correct. And so when I looked at that and I said, I remember that. I almost remember the bit. And I was like, it was almost like the same type of comedian. Like, no, they weren't so vulgar, but they were funny. So like Sinbad, Sinbad came in the same line of Steve Harvey. Now, Steve Harvey, he get there, but he always kept it, clean to a perspective. His content was always awesome. And when I saw that, I was like, okay, they have a recipe. But some people that I saw, they weren't as funny. So the host that came on after Sinbad, I was like, he's not.
Who else came out? I thought Steve Harvey came out Sinbad.
I thought Steve Harvey and then Sinbad. It was the other way around.
I can't remember. I think Steve Harvey came after Sinbad. I think if I'm not Mark Curry or somebody.
Yeah,
Mark Curry.
Because remember,
Mark Curry host.
Yeah, because what happened was they all got shows. Sinbad was in a movie. Steve Harvey basically went into TV, and then Mark Curry had a show as well.
But I thought Mark Curry
was during the 90s.
Yeah, I think Mark Curry went before Steve, I think.
Okay. So Sinbad was first?
I think Sinbad did. Unless they try to revive. You have to research it because I really don't know. I really don't know.
We don't want to put wrong things out there. You're right. Absolutely.
Right. I have to research that.
Yeah. So, but the gentleman that was from Harlem, the younger guy, because it comes on now on Pluto TV, and I was looking, I said, man, it's a drop off. Because he was kind of funny, but it was like, he was what you would say, being funny, doing hack things, and was like, how people do, and start making sounds. And I was like,
we talking about
he was younger. He was a young guy.
What's his name? Rudy Rush.
Rudy Rush. That's exactly what it was. Because he's from New York. And I was like, I think he's going to connect. I thought he would connect more being a New York crowd because Mark Curry, Sinbad, and Steve Harvey are not from New York. And they were hosting Apollo.
Well, see, it's a lot to comedy. It's more to comedy than just being funny. Yeah. You got to even have sex appeal. You got to have a sex appeal.
Whoa, wait.
You got to have a sex appeal.
Wait. Because I'm thinking like, I'm not judging men, but
don't say it.
Dave Chappelle.
Some people like
you think they sex?
Well, I'm not saying Dave Chappelle. A sex appeal doesn't necessarily have to mean I want to have sex with you. Sex appeal means a relatable, an uncle, a cousin, that kind of appeal. So it don't have to be sexual, like, oh man, no. Now the
he got the abs and the muscles and the
no, that ain't no sex appeal. That ain't no abs and muscles. That's just a nigga pumped up. That's all.
That boy on steroids. That boy eats steroids.
Steroids and stuff like that.
So we're saying that you were in comedy. You did the Apollo. I read something too where you actually said you went to like a strip club first and did something before.
Oh, don't tell me it was dollar bill now.
No.
But the thing was, I wanted to get my nerves up. To face a crowd, because the Apollo boo you. They don't care who you are.
Yeah.
They will boo you.
Yes.
So I wanted to get my nerves up. And so the best way I could get my nerves up was go to the strip joint and say, man, let me perform before you bring the girls out. And all them Negro, man, shoot. They would, get off get your man. I don't want to hear no jokes, and I don't want to see you strip. That was funny. So that was just getting my nerves up. That's all. Be able to take a boo if they were gonna boo me. And then when I did do the Apollo, I did say something about the New York Times, and they did boo, but they wasn't booing me. They was booing the New York Times. And so I switched that joke up. I was reading the paper.
So is there anywhere that you wish you could have performed or do you have an aspiration as a comedian, if I could perform at this place or?
Well, have I done it? I done done New York. I done some places. I just like being in front of an audience and having fun. And, I'm telling you the truth, I'm just now really learning how to really open up to be do my comedy, because my thing is I used to perform the comedy. So when you start performing comedy, you talk about the Jay-Z's, the Beyoncé's, the all the stuff in the news. I call that performing comedy. But when you talk about your life, you living the comedy. And so it took me a while, because when I started watching Kevin Hart, I said, well, that's where you get the material from. I said, wait, if Kevin Hart is talking about his life like that, I got a lot of stories that I could tell. Right. I got a whole bunch of unwritten material.
Absolutely.
But how do I make this funny? Because I didn't think my life was that interesting. I didn't think nobody would laugh at what I done went through and stuff like that. So I didn't think I was that interesting.
Being a public servant on a bus, you probably seen some crazy stuff on a daily basis.
There's a lot of jokes. You see a couple bus rides.
Okay, let's ask you this question, because you should be the expert on it. How do you feel about that bus driver that got fired for punching that passenger? Oh, you done messed up now.
That was back in
because it was some years ago, maybe.
But the person hit the bus driver.
But the bus driver got fired.
Yeah, but they'd have those policies, but I don't think it was right to fire him, but
he hit him first, right?
He hit him first, but people they don't how corporate mirrors is. They don't care about all that kind of stuff. You got to keep it corporate, because they can sue the company whether they antagonize you or that's their company, the corporate policies.
Yeah, but he was. He was ragging on it. It was like he got the best of. She was talking junk to him, and she didn't realize he was a comedian. And when you said it, I said, "Damn, I never realized some of the bus drivers probably real funny."
Man, bus drivers, barbers.
Barbers,
man, there's a whole bunch of funny people out there. Yeah. There's a lot of people out there that make some of these comedians lose their career. They so funny, but some people can't translate it on stage. They can be funny with people in an act, but they can't do it. They change it on stage, because I had a lot of people say, "Man, I'm funny, man. I'm funnier than you."
That's
okay. I'm gonna give you a chance. Go on and get up there. They get up there and bomb like a bomb gun. He's funny on the job, but you can find out this is a job.
Yeah. So now you're in the mix. You're on national television. They've seen you. Your face is being known. Your catchphrase is out there. So now, how did you transform that into a movie role? Because I saw that you had a character, and I was like, okay, I didn't even know it because I never seen the movie. But I looked, I said, man, he got a Like, we got a resume, got a movie in there. I said,
I did Thick as Thieves. Reginald Ballard, bruh man got me on that.
That's my man.
Bruh man got me on that. Yeah. They were saying, man, he was doing it was Alex Baldwin, Michael Java White, and some other people. And they said, we have this part, man, and they need some person. They're trying to get Cedric, man, but Cedric is busy or some sort like that. And but he keep on bringing you up, Shuckey Duckey, keep on bringing you up. And then my brother man say, I know him. And then so next thing you put me on the phone, and next thing you know, I'm signing a SAG extra contract going and doing the movie.
That's what's up. Now just relationships, and that's awesome because you talked about the people that you knew, and now brother man, he get on, and then I don't know, y'all Texas boys, y'all gonna put each other on. I'm telling him, hey man, what about me? But
North Carolina, man. North Carolina. You gotta go get Cam Newton or somebody, man. You gotta get Cam
Newton. So now you're on the movie, and I want to know how you go from the movies to Soul Circus. What in the world? Because I went to Soul Circus twice. And I never knew that was you.
Yeah, I had to do I did some gospel plays. I did David Talbot. I did a gospel play called A Fool and His Money.
Right.
I did that for about I think I did it in Carolina. Yeah, the theaters, and I did it for about, I think we did about 6 months. We did 6 months of it, but then it fell apart. And then after that, I did another stage play called When a Woman's Fed Up by David Payton, David Payton, because he's the one who did A Good Man Is Hard to Find. He wrote Good Man Is Hard to Find, but he wrote another play called When a Woman's Fed Up.
Yeah, I think they play that on Showtime now.
Right. And so I did that. And then so I was doing gospel plays that I didn't have time to really just develop my comedy. Okay. And so I had to go to Saginaw, Michigan to do a show. They were paying me some pretty good money to go. And so but I didn't feel like I was funny. And so and I was the headliner because my name was more popular. And I told the guy, and I said, man, won't you let me host the show and everything? Cause man, I can't let you host the show, man. You the hit, you the biggest name, and can't do, I can't do that, and all that. I said, man, he said, what, you scared, man? You scared? Them people that, you scared? I didn't want to tell him, yeah, I'm scared.
I'm been on the stage for a couple of years.
Yeah, and then so I said, okay, well, let me take this drink. And give me a drink at the hotel. Maybe that'll calm my nerves. Maybe it'll give me, funny. So I took that drink. Then I got it backstage. I took another drink. Then his wife gave me another drink before I hit the other stage. And so by the time, when I got time, I was the last one. When I hit that stage, all three of them drinks kicked in at the same time. And I was saying the same jokes over and over. And I told them I couldn't find my pockets. Somebody done stole my pockets. I cussed out the sound man, the light man, cut out the whole audience. I was so embarrassed, with what I had done and everything. And this was in Saginaw, Michigan. And so I said, dog, man, I just, I don't know. I just think I ain't gonna make it with this comedy. I'm not gonna make this comedy. And then so the circus called. They had called once before about me doing something. They started out, it was doing a second unit, and they needed, they saw me in this play with this girl. So they really wasn't hiring me as a ringmaster. They was hiring me as a part of the circus. And then they told me what they was paying. I said, shoot, I know. Nigga, I had to eat. I got to eat.
And that was Ringling Brothers. Brothers, right? Approached you first. Was it Ringling Brothers?
No. This is UniverSoul Circus. Ringling Brothers, they never approached me.
Really?
No, Ringling Brothers, they never.
But they got some misinformation around.
They got some misinformation. Yeah. It was UniverSoul Circus. It was UniverSoul Circus. And matter of fact, it was ironic. The guy that Mr. Walker, who owns this UniverSoul Circus, he was the promoter behind The Good Man Is Hard to Find of David Payton. And so they knew they had that connection. And but they saw me and they wanted us to be a part of the circus. And then everything worked out differently, and I became the ringmaster of the circus. And I wasn't a very good ringmaster from the start because I wasn't really. I told you I wasn't hip. I wasn't no hip person. You know, you try to help me even in comedy. I wasn't the best comedian. I needed help, but not but in that business, you can really find very few guidance because everybody else want to be a star. They don't want to help you. Some people who they want to manage you, they want the money, but they don't want to. You trying to develop.
Correct. And
veterans don't know how to develop. So so I was going through that. I wasn't the best ringmaster, and I fell on my face that first year, and then that second year. It got a little bit better, but I went through a lot, They talking about new nursery rhymes. They say, I said, at first I thought we were just going to be doing the show like at 8 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 7:30, 8. They thought we're doing a morning show. Morning show? I said, where we going to get the audience from? They said, kids. Kids? I can't entertain no kids. No nursery rhymes and all that kind of stuff. I said Shuckey Duckey about the whole time. Shuckey Duckey, all I could say is Shuckey Duckey Quack Quack. That's all I could say.
Oh, man.
That's that one meme they got out too for you. There's a thing on YouTube. You're doing Shuckey Duckey for 2 hours.
Whiteboard, dude. I need to cut that off.
Why did he do that? I kept waiting. I'm like, and that's all it's over and over.
But they done made me the butt of a lot of jokes, or I don't know. There's a lot of comedians that said something in a butt, but they don't know my story. So I don't.
Right.
Because see, Shuckey Duckey means disappointment or excitement. So it means it's negative and positive. So I have to take the negative along with the positive. And I can say I said, yeah, y'all can make fun of me or the phrase, but I think it's popular. It's more popular than some of y'all out there. And I said another thing too. That phrase helped me to get a house, a barbershop, a church building, and rental property. So I don't even care what you take. I mean, the whole main thing, success to me is to have a place to stay. I say, if I not make it big in the movies or whatever, but at least I got a place to stay.
Absolutely. So now you're in the UniverSoul Circus, which I saw. I thought you did awesome.
I thought it was great.
Yeah,
it got better. It got better.
All right, and they were having problems, filling out, and they had to eventually stop per se. But I believe all circus did because people started jumping on the animal right activists.
Oh, but they didn't have no problem. That circus was amazing because see, what made that circus work more than anything else is because we didn't have spectators, we had participators. We had you participating in the circus. So you had the Soul Train line, you had the couple deals. So we had the beach balls going up and everything. And when you interact, when I say big top, you say circus. When I say who got the loudest side, this side, man, that circuit was awesome. I loved it gave me chill bumps in the center of that ring, make you feel like 10 feet tall, and then you sit back and you command that audience. You can command it.
Right.
Oh man. And then you take them acts called, see, and when I learned about it, I call it the boot camp of entertainment because we didn't have a stage. A stage. We had to interact with the audience while we changed the next act over. So we had to entertain, take your mind off the ring and put the other act, and then bam, here we go. So everything had to be timed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So now, when we move on from the circus, so tell us about the experience now. So now we're done with the circus. So now what's on the agenda? Saying, all right, because you got steps. Because right now it looked like you took a step. Got movies.
Look, documentaries he wanted to do.
I wanted to do it. Yeah, documentaries. I wanted the documentary how the Shuckey Duckey thing came all about. I have that in my head. I wanted to do at least one movie that I could star in or some sort like that. But really, tell you the truth about it, it's not really a big deal because you really not want to get into the hustle and bustle. Everything got to be $1. Everything got to be this competition with other people. I don't want to be in no competition with nobody. I just want to enjoy life and just have fun. just fun. If the money come, let it come. If it don't come, I'm still fine. Either way you go. I mean, whether I get it or not, just as long as I'm settled and got peace within myself, because I have done a lot of stuff. I mean, I've done a lot, and I don't have to have an Emmy. I don't have to have an Academy Award. I love people, and I love making people laugh, and I'd rather do something like some intimate settings. Even the pandemic helped me a lot. I made more money during the pandemic. I call it pandemic because they had us pinned down.
We coming to another one now. Look like
don't talk about it. Don't talk about it.
No, I don't like that because I think to me, I think it's a sense of control. That's the reason why I see it. But I love people. I started this is what I tell people. This is what happened. I say when I did when the pandemic came, I said they closed down the barbershop. I own a barbershop. I couldn't get no boot rent. They closed down the church. I couldn't get no tithes and no offering. Then they closed down, told the people they didn't have to pay rent. So I said I couldn't get no rent. I said and then they closed down the comedy clubs. They say people couldn't go to the comedy clubs.
Didn't go out.
So I said I couldn't get no funny money. So I said, okay. I said I had a Home Depot card. I bought me a lawnmower, a weed eater, and a blower. And I started cutting yards because it was essential. And I started cutting yards ever since, and I made more money during that pandemic.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because you ain't gonna stop me. You're not gonna, whatever situation it is, I can look at it and analyze it and whatever it's gonna take. And then I was cutting somebody's yard and they said, Shuckey Duckey, you cutting my yard. Shuckey Duckey is cutting my yard. This boy was so excited. He thought I would bring somebody else. He thought I had a whole crew. I said, no, Shuckey Duckey. And I'm in his backyard cutting his yard. Now he got his phone filming me, putting me on Facebook, saying, Shuckey Duckey cutting my yard. And I say, yeah, and you're paying celebrity prices too.
Yeah, say that. Say that. Now, I got a couple more questions. What you got? Oh.
No, I was just looking at from the pandemic. So, you didn't try to dabble in those PPP loans because, you had some businesses.
No, because them pimp loans.
Oh, the pimp loans.
Pimp loans.
I was like,
if I gotta fill out an application to get it, you gonna give it to me. But if I gotta fill out an application, no, I ain't giving you my information.
That's like old school, huh? Gonna pay that Cadillac in cash.
No, yeah, that's a pimp. I'm gonna pay I'm gonna give you all this money. You get used to it, and then take it away from me. No, I didn't want.
And what about the game show? You said something about a game show. You don't ever want to do it. What about the game show?
I had a,
do it, man. Do it.
No. I had when I had an agent in LA, Urban Arthur, they asked me what did I wanted to do. And I wanted to do the Family Feud. I mean, I did it. It was in the 90s. This is before Steve Harvey took over.
Louis was there? Was that Louis, the big guy?
Yeah, Louis. See, first it was a guy from Home Improvement. He had the Home Improvement, but it was Louis.
Okay.
And then Louis got into some trouble. Somebody was stalking him or blackmailing him or some sort. And because I liked it when Richard Dawson did it. I liked it when Ray Combs did it. Ray Combs committed suicide. But then they did Louis Anderson, but it wasn't as funny as it wasn't as funny. Then they did O'Harley, the one that was on the soap operas. They did him, they did the Home Improvement guy and everything. And but when they in 2010, 11, whenever they got Steve, I said, man, that's a good move. That's a good move. And he's been on it. I know he overdo it sometimes, but he's good. and he and people relate to him, and he took it to Africa. He got it in Africa now. He got the license for Africa. So
hold up, Steve Harvey has the license.
He has the copyrights for the license for Africa, where he can do Family Feud in Africa.
Okay.
So I've watched those episodes. Yeah.
So that's real. That's real deep. Okay. So now you want to get to make in the world, Jason? All right. You want to get to game shows because Jeopardy, they're basically looking for people.
Well, I don't think I can handle Jeopardy.
Don't limit yourself.
I ain't that intellectual. Nah, I won't sit up there.
Oh, yes, you are.
Instead of no information like that, no.
Because right now they had who I thought did the best after Alex Trebek, which is was a legend, was Blossom. Remember the girl who played Blossom?
Oh yeah,
Punky Brewster.
Punky Brewster. No, yeah, she did the best out of all the guest ones they had because I want to say like they brought some people in, and then the Ken Jennings, he had the longest streak of winning, and that's who they really grooming to do it. But I'm like,
but didn't he have something that he said that they're not trying to take him?
Yeah, true.
Something happened where they not going. I heard.
Yeah, they wasn't going to take him because actually the producer, if you ever see the dark-haired gentleman, he was the producer from Jeopardy, and he had to jump in because some of the people, they were awful. Some of them was like, nah, that's not it. But I think that just because, sometimes you give some type of change of pace or something, it may, you never know. So, get your agent and be like, hey, man, let me see what I can do.
But they looking for, what? Black people always spices stuff up. We spice everything. If you notice that Black people, we just spice it up. We took the band and made the Gremlin and the Southerns and the band. We take choirs. The choirs used to be just but these choirs is so Mississippi Mass Choir and all that kind of stuff. We always take it from tennis to golf to whatever we do. We put that spirit into it. And once we learn the fundamentals of something, boy, and we could we'll add, let's say this is the fundamentals, but let me add a little spice. Let me top it off. No, we just have that. And so, like I said, Steve Irwin took Family Feud to another level that it wouldn't go. So we just have that, when we do some things. And I just wanted to find something. But my thing is, I love conversations, and I can be funny in conversations. We can talk about anything, and I can make it laugh. I was in this cigar bar. I don't smoke cigars, but I was there, and I did just interacting with these people. He was talking about some deep stuff, and I was just talking and cracking jokes and everything. I love that type of interaction with people.
So now, what about, because right now they're grooming his daughter, and I see nepotism going on, the Wheel of Fortune. Because if you watch, I watch I watch everything, and I read. Oh,
yeah, I see you watching. You know more than what I know. I don't. I listen to Alan Watts. That's all that I listen to on YouTube. So, excuse me, Wheel of Fortune. If you've noticed, Vanna White and Pat Sajak been there forever. They've been over 30 years,
ever
plus, right?
Ever.
And now, Pat Sajak daughter. She's fairly attractive. She's blonde, follows the model of Vanna White, and she has these little segments at the end, just saying something, And I'm like, oh, I see this going on because it's been 30 years. He about done. He about done with this, and they're gonna transition, or Vanna White, she's gonna transition there, and I'm like, because I can see,
Do you blame him?
Not at all.
We need the legacy.
However,
we don't do. We don't have a lot of legacy.
Look here, I wanted to be. I can't. I'll get myself in shape if I could just turn letters for a whole, for the rest of my life, and say I'm a different type of educator, and get me $1 million per year. Yeah, that check is nice.
Yeah, $1 million a year to just turn some letters.
Yeah. Just
your vows.
Yeah, I don't gotta say much. Good night. That's me. I'll do that.
I'll probably get fired. They'll be done turn the wrong letter. Man, he done gave the thing away.
No, they light up. They light up on the side. I asked that. Yeah, they got a little sign. They're like, oh, just touch the one that lights up. Yeah. You can't get that wrong. It's like McDonald's cashiers now. They got pictures. I bet not be done took a drink. If I took a drink, everything will lit up. I was lit up. The light lit up. Look, let me be your agent. I'll be right before now. You quit. This is an Antonio Brown. I can't handle this guy. Like, no, we got to do that. So
right.
get to that, yeah, because we've been here, and I think we can go somewhere.
Long time. Absolutely. But so what can we expect from you in the future? Anything coming up? Any projects you're working on? Anything like that?
I ain't working on nothing.
That's all right.
I ain't working. I'm like I said, I would like to have that conversation. Have a little thing where I'm talking in conversation and having fun like that. They trying to work podcasts. They're trying to do all of the type of stuff.
Podcast. You know, everybody got a podcast.
Yeah, I know everybody. I mean, and I'm the type of person I really like to be to myself. I don't really like to hustle and bustle. I don't like to be in people's face. I don't want nobody being all in my face, certain different things. I mean, I just like to take it easy. I really tell you the truth about it. I don't ain't in competition with nobody. I just like to enjoy life. Okay. That's what I want. Just enjoy, just enjoy life.
There's nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong with that at all.
So now,
you deserve it. You got a rapid fire for it?
Yeah, I got it. I was listening to what he said.
I was waiting. Okay.
Down. All right, so this is what we do. We do rapid fire questions. It's either or you can say both. As a matter of fact, I have to even say this. You can say neither. All right, so I want you to think first one that you like or think about. I want you to say this one or that one, or you can say both because it might be too hard, or you can say neither. Okay? All right. So the Texans or Cowboys? What team do you like best?
Cowboys.
Okay, good. I'll try to help you. Shit. All
right, you say, wait a minute, I'm going to say neither. I'm going to say neither. I'm going to say Cowboys.
Yeah. I know you like the Cowboys. I was messing with you on that one. So what about, because you're from Texas, what do you like better? Barbecue or steak? Texas is both known for that.
Both.
You ever hated both.
I can't say both. You say neither, both,
or
one or the other.
Yeah. I should have made it tougher for you. Be like, nah, you got to pick one. You said both. I got it. Mickey Mouse or Bugs Bunny? Are you down with Warner Brother or Disney?
I like Bugs Bunny.
Okay, you go with Warner Brother. All right, LeBron or Mike Jordan?
Who?
LeBron or Mike?
Both.
Okay. Drew Pearson or Michael Irvin?
Both.
Akeem or Dirk Nowitzki?
The King.
I was waiting for you.
The
King. Okay, look. Now this one is going to be a little harder because I know you're from Texas. Ralph Sampson or Jabbar?
What?
Yeah.
I don't even know who.
I know who Ralph Sampson is. I know Ralph. He was the Twin Towers.
Twin Towers in Houston. You ain't too far from that. I know.
I had to say Lou Alcindor.
Yeah. And of the comedians, now excluding yourself, who would be on your Mount Rushmore of comedians? Put four.
Good one.
Comedians. Who would you put on your Mount Rushmore?
Ooh, that's good. Yeah, give it to it.
Who would be on my Mount Rushmore of comedians?
Shuckey Duckey, it's on there.
Excluding Shuckey Duckey.
Oh, I ain't I ain't know that. I wouldn't even put my own self on no goddamn. I'm scared of heights. I will say, first and foremost, Richard Pryor.
All right.
After Richard Pryor will become Eddie Murphy. After Eddie Murphy will come Robert Townsend.
Okay.
Oh.
After Robert Townsend will come Robin Harris.
Wow, old school.
And the reason why, because there's a reason why.
You don't have to if you don't want to, but yeah.
I want to know. I want to know
why. Yeah. Richard Pryor was the one that got young black men wanting to be comedians.
Facts.
Before Richard Pryor, you had some people want to be comedians, but not a lot of black people. They wanted to be singers. They wanted to be the Four Tops, Marvin Gaye, you know,
James
those type, Smokey Robinson, they wanted to be those. But when Richard Pryor came along in 74 with That Nigga's Crazy, everybody was using that album. Everybody was saying, Dracula, what kind of name is that for, nigga? You know? And so Richard Pryor birthed Eddie Murphy. Eddie Murphy put the sex appeal in comedy. Nigga didn't have to dress up like a clown. He can dress sexy. He can dress a sharp, be sharp.
Leather.
Put that appeal on
leather, no shirt.
Yeah, leather, no shirt, leather. And then there you go.
That's the appeal. That's the appeal right there.
Yeah, that's the appeal. And so that bam, he was like the rock star. That was a rock star.
I had the calendar.
He was a rock star. And then I picked Robin Townsend because Robert Townsend did Hollywood Shuffle.
Facts.
With his credit card. That was a true somebody who.
Yep.
Yep. And so when he did that, he got that deal with HBO to bring Partners in Crime. And when he did 8 with the Partners in Crime, that's how we discovered Robin Harris. Now
they brought all of them out. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then Dana.
Wow, right.
Well.
Right.
Robin
and
Harris,
then so when Robin Harris, Robin Harris, when he got popular, that was our meter. You know why he was our meter? Because we know that Richard Pryor and Eddie Murphy was superstars. White people had them. They gentrificated them. Right. We couldn't get no tickets to go see them because the people loving them. You know, we see them on TV. We could afford them tickets. But Robin Harris was selling out the black comedy clubs wrapped around the building. That's why we eliminated. That's when he died, they were looking for the next Robin Harris. That's Def Jam was designed for Robin Harris.
Facts.
But he died.
But and what you said right now, and I'm just thinking, and I think Bernie Mac was the one that closest filled that void. Closest.
Yeah, he Bernie Mac, the closest one that filled that void.
Correct.
Because my sister kids and baby kids, same premise.
Facts. Facts. We're talking. Absolutely. We talking about. Absolutely. So that's awesome. And because I love history, politics, and we could talk forever. But I think that we got a lot from you and your story and your journey, because that's the type of information I don't want to highlight so much of, the entertainment. So when someone looks at this podcast, they'll be like, did they get to know Shuckey Duckey? Did they see his journey? And sometimes that's why I sit here, shut up, make sure I'm not trying to overspeak you, and make sure you get your message out in person.
I thought we were going to get in some trouble when I started talking about that Buddhism and that religion for it. Don't you talk about my Jesus like that. Don't you do my Jesus like that.
That's not me. Yeah.
What's that one that Viola Davis played in, and one McCall, he called the man talking about his Jesus, he cut him all up. You talk about my Jesus.
I love it. Well, thank you so much, Cecil Armstrong, aka Shuckey Duckey, on KROSS BARZ. We appreciate you. Thank you so much for telling the story, being a part, having some laughs, giving some wisdom, educating us, and all that good stuff. So we wish you the best of luck on whatever it is you decide to do, even if it's nothing. You know what I mean? Give you some peace. We appreciate you. Thank you so much. So if anybody want to find you, though, where can they find you? If they want to hit you up
Instagram,
on social media,
they find it at my house. I'm at my house. I got a mailbox, P.O. box.
Oh, come on. I know you got an Instagram.
I got, you know what? I have been on
You're
Instagram.
On Twitter too.
I got a ShuckyDuckey.com. SHUCKEY. It's laying low. I got the real Shuckey Duckey. That's the Instagram. I think it's the real Shuckey Duckey. That's laying low. I got a Twitter, but I don't even know what the Twitter is.
Yeah,
everything.
Your Twitter is at the real Shuckey Duckey.
Yeah, that's the real. Yeah, something like that. I got all this stuff, but I get tired of posting stuff, man. They post it all in the bathroom and all that kind of stuff. Man, I'm taking a dump. Y'all want to see me on Instagram?
You might get a lot of followers.
Tell me what you think about the dump.
Now you got to get on TikTok. You got to get on TikTok.
I heard somebody did a thing on TikTok with me with using my voice. It's on TikTok. It's funny too. I liked it too. I said, "Ooh, it's funny."
TikTok. All right. We thank you so much. You can find us here on BARZ, KROSS BARZ. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, at the website, www.crossbars.com. Again, thank you so much. We love you. Peace.
Ball.
BARZ. Yes, BARZ.